want to take a few moments today before we go any forward or further and draw your attention to something small, something quiet, and something that I believe with all my heart that God does not want us to walk past without stopping. Over here, you will notice a table. It is set apart from everything else. It is not decorated for celebration. No one will gather around it. No one will sit at it. And yet, I believe that this is probably one of the most important tables in the room today. This is the fallen Comrade Table. And today I will tell you what it means. The table itself is small. It only sits one. It is intentional because while we gather here as a congregation and as a community and a family of faith, the men and women who we remember today each made their sacrifice one at a time. One heartbeat, one breath, one final prayer, whispered perhaps in a language only God could hear in that moment. Scripture tells us in Matthew 18:12 that if a man has 100 sheep and one goes astray, he leaves the 99 to go after the one. God counts by ones, and so does this table. Every fallen soldier was someone's one, someone's child, someone's parent, someone's answered prayer, and today we pause to honor each one individually, personally, and with the full weight of our gratitude. The white tablecloth. The cloth is draped over this table, and it's white. White is the color of purity, the color of righteousness, the color of the robes described in Revelation 7:9, worn by those who have come out of great tribulation. These men and women who served, they walked into tribulation willingly. They stepped toward danger so that others could step away from it. They wore a uniform in harm's way so that we could wear out our Sunday's best in the house of worship freely without fear. The white cloth says their motives were pure. They served not for glory, but for something that they believed in deeply, their country, their community, and in many cases, God. On the table, you will see a single rose. It is beautiful, but it is costly, as all beautiful things in this life seem to be. The rose stands for the families, the mothers and the fathers, the husbands and the wives, the sons and the daughters who carry a photograph where a person used to stand. There are broken-hearted people connected to every fallen soldier on their remembrance list. There are families who have sat in pews just like these, chairs, asking God the questions that don't have easy answers, asking why, asking how, and asking for strength to get through another day without the one that they loved. The rose blooms for them today, and so does our prayers. Beside the bread plate, there is a slice of lemon, and next to it is a pinch of salt. The lemon is for bitterness, because loss is bitter, because grief is bitter, because telling a child that mommy and daddy is not coming home is one of the most bitter moments a human being can face. We do not sugarcoat that here today. The church is not a place where we pretend pain does not exist. The church is a place where we bring our pain to the feet of the cross because that is the only place that has ever truly been met. The salt for tears. Jesus wept. Those are two of the most powerful words in all the scripture, John 11:35. The Son of God standing in the tomb of his friend Lazarus, and he wept. Not because he didn't have the power to change the situation, he was about to demonstrate that he did, but because he loved. And love, when it encounters loss, it weeps. So today, it's okay to weep, and it's right that we weep today. The salt on this table gives us permission to weep. The glass on the table is turned upside down. They cannot drink with us today. They cannot pull up a chair at the family dinner table. They cannot show up to the reunion. They can't walk through the door on Christmas morning. They can't grow old the way they deserve to grow old, but here's what you can hold on to. The glass may be inverted here, but I believe with all my faith that there is a table being set somewhere else. The empty glass here is not the end of their story. It is a chapter, and God is writing the rest. A candle burns on this table. In John 8:12, Jesus declares, I am the light of the world, and whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. This candle burns for every soldier who walked into darkness on our behalf. It burns as our promise that their memory will not go to dark. It burns as a symbol of hope we hold, that the same God who lit the stars also holds soul we remember today. As long as this candle burns, we are saying we have not forgotten and we will not forget. And then the chair. The chair is empty and sometimes it's tilted forward, but today it's just simply vacant. I want you to look at the chair and really look at it, because that chair represents something almost too large for words. That chair is where a young man or a young woman should be sitting today. That chair belongs to someone who woke up one day and perhaps in a small town not far from here and perhaps on the other side of the world and made a decision to put on a uniform, to raise their right hand and to say by their actions, if not in these exact words, I will go so that others do not have to. That is a profound Christ-like impulse. John 15:13 tells us, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Jesus spoke those words, and then he lived them. The men and women represented by that empty chair, they lived too, and they lived them too. In their own way, in their own time, and on their own battlefield, they laid down their lives. And we owe them more than they can ever repay. But what we can give them and what we must give them is this: we remember. So for all of my fellow comrades who are veterans, who currently serve, who are already out, whether you're National Guard, Reserve, active duty, Army, Navy, Marine, Air Force, Coast Guard, whatever branch you seem to have served in, I just want y'all to take a moment and just to remember the friends that we lost along the way. Excuse me. In a few moments, we will return to our service, and we will sing, and we will worship, and we will perhaps share a meal or a handshake or a hug in the parking lot on the way out. But before we do, I'm asking everyone to make a quiet, personal commitment, not just today, not just on Memorial Day, to remember them. If we could have a moment of silence. Thank you.